Are you the eternal victim? Woe is me. It's me against the world. Everybody hates me. Da 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 da. And we just cue the world's smallest violin. You know? Hello everyone, I'm Mel. Lovely to see you. To the returning subscribers, welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm so happy to see you again, especially on the first video of 2024. If you're new around here, welcome. Feel free to check out the other videos on the channel, and if you enjoy the content, remember to smash the subscribe button below. Today we're going to be talking about happiness, and I'll be sharing with you my 2024 Happiness Playbook. So, before we get started, just a quick disclaimer. I don't believe in New Year's resolutions. Never have, never will. I've always been of the school of thought that a person can make a change on any day of the year, as long as they've got the willpower and the determination to make that change. With that said, I do have a very crucial goal for this year. Drum roll please. And that is to be happy. Simple and plain. I know it's not a conventionally smart goal. I mean, what is the specificity of happiness? How do you measure happiness? How do you achieve happiness? What scale do you use? Okay, and let's keep it a buck. How do we achieve happiness in 2024 when the environment is already so volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous? How do we actually get that type of happiness for ourselves? And last but not least, is there a way to actually put a time limit on happiness? Can we say that by Q3 2024 we would have achieved our happiness? This is why trying to pursue happiness using a logical perspective will come across as ridiculous. However, happiness is the basis of our lives. Pursuing happiness cannot be pegged into timelines or into a box where we measure it and we put it on a scale and we tick off that we have achieved a certain measure of happiness. But it's a daily thing that we need to pursue. The thing about happiness is that it's one of those elusive and intangible qualities of life, but without that happiness, life ceases to have meaning and it loses its color and flavor. I think, like most of you, I am guilty and have been very guilty of standing in the path of my own happiness. I have looked to other people to make me happy. I have blamed other people, situations, and life for being unhappy. And I've generally just taken a back seat to my own personal well-being. But no more, not this year. I am putting on my big girl pants and I am pursuing happiness. So before we can talk about how to be happy in this year, maybe we should define what happiness is. I'm going to read a definition from a psychology researcher, which I think is pretty spot on. According to Sonia Lubomirsky, I hope I said her name right, she describes happiness as the experience of joy, contentment, or positive well-being, combined with the sense that one's life is good, meaningful, and worthwhile. I love that definition. To me, happiness also means finding joy in the everyday mundane things and being fully present in the present. Not trying to live in the past, not trying to live in the future, but taking life moment by moment and relishing it. Stopping to smell the flowers, really tasting the coffee, taking time just to be present. So how can we be happy? I'm just going to run you through a few steps that are going to constitute our 2024 Happiness Playbook. Number 1, acknowledge the role that you have played in your own misery. So the first step to any long-lasting reformation is being able to, 1, acknowledge that there is a problem, and 2, be big enough to step out of yourself, out of your own feelings, and look yourself candidly in the eye and accept the role that you've played in your own misery. For example, does your unhappiness stem from poor life decisions? Are you lazy and complacent when it comes to your life, hence you're unhappy? Or are you a chronic complainer? Are you a blamer? Are you negative? Are you a fault finder? Are you generally a negative Nancy? Or are you the eternal victim? Woe is me. It's me against the world. Everybody hates me. Da 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 da. And we just cue the world's smallest violin. You know? Or are you bogged down by limiting belief systems? Are you the sort of person who believes that nothing good lasts? So you self-sabotage. Anytime anything good is happening to you, you find a way to really fudge it up. Are you that sort of person? Perhaps are you deeply insecure? Are your insecurities the reason that you're unhappy? That you really can't relate with other people? You can't form any lasting connections with anyone because you project your own insecurities? Friends of the internet, this is food for thought. It's not an attack, it's just food for thought. It's very important for us to understand our own behavioral patterns so that we can disrupt them and make meaningful changes, especially when it comes to something like happiness. Happiness is not something that just happens to us. Happiness is a daily choice. Number 2, cultivate positive thoughts. The quality of your thoughts will determine your happiness. As a chronic overthinker, I have found, and I do attest, that when my thoughts are negative, when I'm in a place where I am undermining my own achievements and I'm basically just being unkind to myself, my level of happiness just plummets to the ground. This is because too many negative thoughts produce stress and unhappiness in the body. You find that you're tense, you're tense in your jaw, you're angry, you're going around like a bear with a sore head, simply because of what's happening in your noggin, what is happening in your mind. So to boost our happiness this year, we must focus on positive thoughts. Every time you have a negative thought, replace it with a positive thought. Because what that is going to do is rewire your thinking pattern so that you become more and more inclined to think good and positive thoughts. And it's a well-known fact that the more positive you are in terms of your thoughts and your attitude, the less your stress is, the happier you are, and the more relaxed you are, and overall you're a better person to really be around. Number 3, say no to comparison. If you want to be happy, do not compare. You've probably heard the saying that comparison is the thief of happiness, and that is the truth. If you find yourself peeping into the next person's plate, not being content with what has been set before you, you're in for some serious trouble, my friend. Comparison compels us to desire more than we have. Nothing wrong with being ambitious, wanting more in life, but it's always important to remember that your life is designed a certain way, different from the next person. We're all unique. We're like these 5 fingers. The thumb will never be the pinky. The pointer finger will never be the pinky. Each of the fingers serve a unique purpose and are designed for a specific purpose. So if you spend your time comparing yourself to someone else, frustrated why you don't have the blessings that they have, you're always going to feel inadequate. You're always going to feel less than the next person. Number 4, be your very best ally. If you want to be happy, be your best cheerleader. I found that some of the happiest people I've come across march to the beat of their own drum. They're not too concerned about what other people say. They're not concerned about fitting into a certain mold. With that said, it gives attention to how people like that live according to their own principles, their core values, how they're not resistant to change, and they just let things happen without too much resistance. Happy people set up boundaries as well. And as a people pleaser, I have struggled with saying no. And I've learned the hard way that this is the biggest violation that I can actually commit against myself as a person. Saying yes when I mean to say no. So in this year, if you want to be happy, stop crossing oceans for people who will not jump over a puddle for you. Stop bending over backward, cracking your spine, trying to please everyone. It cannot be done. Do what you can and leave the rest to God. There's nothing intrinsically wrong with self-preservation, and there's nothing wrong We're putting yourself first. I know that for a lot of people who are taught to be very selfless, to be extremely giving, which is very good because we have been put on earth to be in service to others, but we should first and foremost be in service to ourselves. Last but not least, in this year, I am going to approach my life with an open hand. What does this mean? My hand is open to release what needs to go. And my hand is open to accept that which is coming my way. Holding on to things too tightly, like really grasping them with all your might, is exhausting. It's too much work, and it's a formula, a given formula, and I know this from experience, for unhappiness. It's good to just let go and let God. Always, 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 always. My last point, which is more of a bonus point, number 5, is be deliberate in your pursuing of happiness. Have fun. Make it a priority to have fun, to do things that engage your mind, that interest you, things you've never done before. Find a new hobby. Say yes to new experiences, to new connections. Go places you've never been. Try something different. I think in this year it's going to be very crucial to resist the temptation to withdraw into ourselves, especially when we're going through things, which is for me anyway, is the default reaction, We're going to leave the house this year. Even if it's not the happiest of times, we're going to smile, we're going to feel the sun on our face, and we're going to keep it pushing, pursuing that happiness because it's a choice. Happiness is found in those mini moments that are stitched together. Those are the parts that we look back and say, you know what, I was happy. I was happy on that day. Not the big momentous things. Not really. So even as we ponder upon happiness, it's not a given that we'll get it right. It's something that we need to practice daily. And we should have enough grace and kindness towards ourselves to know that, okay, if I failed to think positive thoughts today, there's still tomorrow. I wake up and I try again. In conclusion, life is hard for most of us, and we're facing so many difficult battles. Some are financial, some are health related, some of the pain is stemming from our love relationships, from our family relationships. Some of us are agitated because of our careers or lack of. We are all facing so many different hurdles on a day-to-day basis. So instead of rolling ourselves into a little ball and trying to wait things out whilst life is beating the crap out of us, we just have to get up, dust ourselves off, and pursue happiness. Make a decision that, okay, nothing is going right. My life does not look the way that I hoped it would look. Nothing is going my way. My money is funny, but I'm still going to smile. I'm going to find some beauty and purpose in the mundane. I'm going to be happy that I can walk. I'm going to be happy that I've got enough food to eat. I'm going to be happy that I've got shelter. I'm going to find something to be grateful and positive about each and every single day. Internet friends, life is short, and this might be as good as it will ever get. So don't wait for happiness to happen. You make your own happiness. We have come to the end of our video for today. Thank you so much if you made it this far. Till the next time we see each other again, Musare Munyasha.